everyone, welcome to Walks with Moss. It's the day after Thanksgiving. It's time to burn the turkey. On our turkey burn hike, we need to get lots of exercise and we need to be away from people. That's why we're going up a closed road. I don't know what this hike is going to bring us. It's been a very, very long time since I've headed up in this direction. And I know there's lots of Scott broom that might stop us from getting where we want to go. But I also know the sun is out. Down at sea level, it's foggy, it's socked in. We must have an inversion. As soon as I got up here in the mountains a little ways, the sun came out, so that's pretty awesome. That's making me feel good about today. It got down to freezing last night at sea level, but it didn't frost, I don't think. But mushroom season is going to end soon, that's for sure. A lot of them stopped producing with the first frost. I don't know what mushrooms we'll find up here. Unfortunately, we got off to a late start today. I couldn't sleep very well. It's 11 o'clock. The sun's going to set at basically 4:30. I've really only got 2.5 hours before I have to turn around if I want to have lunch and make it out before dark. So maybe we should just count on being out of here after dark today, because it's not going to be a very effective turkey burn if I only hike 2.5 miles. We've already had a little bit of a snafu. I left my GPS and my InReach on the roof of my car, thinking they could get a signal there while I was putting my boots on, and then I left them on the roof of my car. So I ran back down the hill to my car as quickly as I could and retrieved those items. And now we're off again. We found an old road. I think it probably just goes to the top of this little hill. I was going to mark it on my GPS as a place to come back and explore someday, because it's going to reduce how many miles I can go up the main road if I go up any side roads. But I changed my mind. I'm actually going to go up and see what's up here. Today's about getting exercise and trying to have some fun. It's not about how many miles I go up the main road. I suspect this is just going to go around the corner here and lead to a campsite. Maybe someplace I would like to camp even. So let's go check it out. I'm certain this road is a dead end. One way you know you're on a dead end road is if moss grows in the middle. It's just guaranteed to be a dead end if it's got moss in the middle. But it could go for 20 miles. Probably not though. It's probably just going to go maybe a quarter mile. We'll find out. There's some nice old trees here. Douglas fir that Greed Diamond didn't get around to cutting down. They must have ended the 100-year sustained steel right before Greed Diamond was going to come take these out. Here's our first mushroom. Not sure what it is. Pretty far gone. Let's give it a sniff. I thought it might be the fragrant russula, but it isn't. We're not going to find as many mushrooms up here because we're in bigger, more mature trees, and most of our choice edible mushrooms that we eat actually favor the second growth forests. When I was studying temperate rainforests, we did a research project at the end of the quarter, and the project I proposed was to see if mushrooms grew more, large showy edible mushrooms grew more in old growth, second growth, or recent clear cut. And I was hoping to show they grew more in old growth because I like old growth. But we did our study and definitely second growth was where it was at. Nothing in the recent clear cut. Not much of anything in the way of edible mushrooms in the old growth. But the recent second growth clear cut, that's where the mushrooms were. But check it out. Looky here. One of my favorites. Oh yeah. Craterellus tubiformis, unless the name has changed. The winter chanterelle, and I love these. Absolutely love these mushrooms. I'm gonna gather them up. It's better when they grow in big clumps, then I can just take my knife and cut across the base of the clump. But there we go. I don't think the name of these has changed. Craterellus tubiformis. 2-foot chanterelle, winter chanterelle, yellowfoot, all the things that it's called. Yay, mushrooms! We've got some coral mushrooms here too. And I think these are edible ones because I've eaten the orange ones. I'll take it easy though when I try these. I'll just eat a little bit at first. We have found an absolutely gorgeous potential campsite. Only problem is people can drive here most of the year, so it wouldn't be a very private campsite, except for this time of year when the gate is shut. We could take a trip up here just to spend the night under the trees. I don't know though, it'd be kind of scary. So there's a few little trails slash roads that go off from here. I can't imagine any of them go very far, but I think we should explore them. And it is a little bit mushroomy here. Here's a russula of some type right there. Very cool. Very, very cool. And then here's something here. I'm not sure what that is. I think maybe another russula. Cool. What a nice spot. I could just come up here in the winter and just spend the day hanging out if I wanted to get in the woods and get away from the airplanes and my neighbors. This might be a cool place to come to test out my tent. Hey, have we got some chanterelles here in the old growth? We do. They're too far gone, but there they are. I could test out my tent here. I seam sealed it. I could come up here on my bicycle and camp here. That might be more fun than testing it out in the front yard. And I'd be close enough to the car I could get out quickly if the tent leaked. Here's a little road that leads down from the campsite, but I don't think any of these roads are going to go very far at all just due to the topography here. This was the end of the road. This is the top of the hill. I don't want to go too far down here. Looks like it's going to get really rough really fast, although there is actually more road here. And look down here. Look at this beautiful forest. Wow. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I think old growth, because I don't see any stumps. Our old growth can get way, way, way bigger than this though. But the lack of stumps tells me this is old growth. It just, maybe this wasn't the most fertile area for trees to grow, so our old growth only got this big here. Or maybe there had been a fire at some point. All I can see for sure is that green diamond has never been here. And because of that, it's gorgeous. I decided to continue following this old road. Here's a red-belted conch. I know the name of this has changed. I think it's now Fomatopsis mountesii. It used to be called Fomatopsis pinicola, but not anymore. It's so frustrating that all the names have changed since I learned them. I took 32 credits of college level mycology classes back in 2013, and I had to memorize the scientific names and the spellings of so many mushrooms and lichens. And I am going to brag a little bit. I got 100% on the lab final. But what for now? Every single name almost has changed. It's crazy. It's like I got to go back and take another class. So I don't think I'm going to be motivated enough to ever learn them all again on my own. Here we go. Here's a Ganoderma. Probably the artist conch. Let's take a look at it. Well, maybe not. Actually, I think it's the other thing that used to be lumped in with the red-belted conch, but now they call something else. Yeah, see, when I drew on it there, it didn't make a line. So it's not Ganoderma at all. Don't know what they call this anymore. They keep changing the names. It's driving me crazy. Here's some nice lichens you generally only find out in the forest on the Douglas fir. This is Lobaria oregana. When you're in the urban areas, you'll see the Lobaria pulmonaria, but this is Lobaria oregana. And this moss right here, I'm not sure what this moss is. Oh man, my fingernails are dirty. It's so hard to keep your fingernails clean. What's this? Is this a real turkey tail or a fake? I guess it's a fake because this is conifer wood, right? Ooh, it's got purple on it and it's got pores. It's pretty, whatever it is. We're still heading down this road. I'm sure it's going to dead end pretty abruptly down here in a bit. And there is some evidence that Green Diamond, aka Simpson, has been here. There's some old growth stumps. So this has been logged. So it's not quite as pretty now. So they came down here and logged, but they didn't log right up in that one spot. Maybe they were made to leave that spot alone for recreation purposes. They were supposed to leave some recreation opportunities, but they didn't have much oversight and they didn't really leave that much behind for us. I'm glad they left something though, because it's gorgeous out here in the places where they didn't come and destroy everything. Here's a hemlock tree. And we're walking in kind of a alder area. This would be a good place to check for oyster mushrooms. What's the matter, Bella? You struggling to get up? Woo! Oh boy, clumsy. Made good use of your skid plate there. There's some sort of four-wheeling club down there making some noise. But I'm behind the gate, so they won't be coming up here. We hit the end of the road. And it looks like everything on that side has been logged. So it's mostly maples and some smaller Douglas fir and a lot of alder. And stuff on this side has not been logged. So as we make our way back, I might not follow the road. I might brush crash down here in the old growth. It's cool to find a bit of old growth I can walk in without having a lot of company. Oh, wait. Look at this. Besides that chanterelle over there. This is another branch of the road. Okay. There's more road. Let's keep going down this road. Here's some, okay, the first name sounds kind of like piss. I guess Pissiana. And the last name is Badius. It's a polypore. Grows on rotten wood. It's very tough. And you can find this all year round. So I'll be pointing this out even outside of mushroom season. Let's continue down this road, see what we can find. Still on the road, and I think this road is going to follow a ridge all the way down to the river. And we might have a nice private spot on the river where I can have a cup of coffee. It's chilly out here this morning. I think I'm ready for coffee already. Look at that beautiful forest down there. How amazing is that? This is clearly an old logging road. One side was logged and the other side wasn't. It's quite a contrast. Let's see if we can make it down to the river on this. Yeah, let's just do some exploring today and not worry about mileage maybe. We have found a burned area. It looks like a fairly recent forest fire in the last year or two. And I think a trail was carved out here for fighting the fire. I'm assuming this trail is going to go down to the river. Yeah, probably the firefighters built a trail along this ridge from the river where the closest road is, I'm thinking. Definitely been a fire through here. Here's a old growth stump coming up here that got burned. Yeah, there's some markers down there. I'm not sure exactly when this fire was, but I'd say it was pretty recent. Maybe even this summer, although I didn't hear of any fires up here this summer. But this sure looks recent. We'll keep following this ridge until it gets too treacherous. I don't think this ridge is going to lead to a nice route down to the river. It's going to drop off really steeply whenever we get to the end of it. I can see a bunch of cars down there. I'm glad I'm not hiking down there today. Thinking about turning around here because it's kind of pointless to go much farther, but then again, nah, I want to tag the end of this ridge. I really do. I think this is a good place to turn around. I could go down there, but I'd have to kind of scoot down on my butt, and if I slipped, I could end up down there. So I'll just leave that ridge for Bella, and we'll turn around and go back the way we came. Well, that was kind of fun to find this old fire suppression line. I think this will be a fire that came up from the campground below. It is fun just to get a little bit off trail. You can explore and find the most interesting things sometimes. This old growth tree lost its life due to some careless person down in the campground. You can see the rest of the tree down there. It's flagged off a bit. Sorry, tree. Humans are horrible. We're a horrible, horrible species. Aren't we, Bella? Aren't we? Yeah. We're just one of the animals. No better or worse than any of the other animals. We're just the animal called human. I'm not sure what this mushroom is, but I'm hoping it's something nice. Yeah, probably not. What have we got? Yeah, some sort of russula. Could be edible. Not a matsutake. Nope, it's not the maraschino cherry scented russula. I haven't found that one this year. I haven't spent enough time in the old growth. Just a nice white russula. Here's some of the winter oyster mushrooms starting to pop up out of this alder log. It's really slimy on top and it's pretty bitter. And I don't remember the scientific name. I know it's got the word serotonin as part of the scientific name because it's so dark. And I've heard the name a bunch of times recently on videos I've watched, but I've forgotten. That's okay. It's not a pleurotus. It's not related to the spring oyster mushroom. And you can eat it, but it's bitter and slimy. So I think we'll just leave it behind. What do you think, Bella? What do you think? No, let me grab this mushroom. Do you want a mushroom? You want to eat this mushroom? You want to eat this mushroom? No, you've got no interest whatsoever in this mushroom, do you? Okay, let's go. Check it out. I got a nice collection of winter chanterelles here. They were growing in clumps, so I was able to pick them fairly quickly. Now my hands are really cold and I need a cup of coffee. And I can't have coffee here at this beautiful campsite because I didn't pack any water. I didn't pack any water because I live in a rainforest. And it's been raining continuously for 3 weeks. I need to start packing water more often. It would be so nice to sit up here and just spend the day. But we need to keep moving, and Bella doesn't mind. Do you, buddy? No, you don't mind at all. Our mandatory stop and have lunch time, if we want to make it out before dark, is only an hour away. So let's go back where we came from and see if we can find a creek and a nice spot to have our lunch. What a gorgeous area we found up here, though. I'm so glad that we took this little detour. This is just so beautiful. If we had water, we could easily spend the whole day just exploring this little area and picking winter chanterelles. We will definitely be back. Check it out. Here is the almond-scented russula. Oh, it smells so nice. And it tastes so terrible. So I'll just carry it around with me and sniff it from time to time. My first find of this one this year. Cool. Yeah. I'll just keep carrying this with me until my hand is too cold or I can't smell it anymore. Oh, it smells so nice. I wish it tasted as nice as it smelled. Here's another side road into some old growth, which I could no doubt explore forever. We've just got to find some water out here. I found a new place to hike. I've been aware of this area for a while, but I was always going for the end destination way down the road and up a hill. A super, super strenuous hike, and always kind of ignored this area. Well, I'm gonna forget about that end destination. I can't get there anymore. It's too overgrown. And I'm gonna walk in here, and at least that's my plan, to do a lot of walking back in here and explore every little side road. And I can spend the winter doing that until it snows too much. Yep, I've got a plan now, and it feels good. Here's a lichen we can take a look at real quick. I think this is cladonia. At first I thought it was a sparrow forest, but no, it's just a probable cladonia. I have microscopes and I can study lichens with them, but the problem with my lichen key is that near the beginning of every key you have to do a chemical test with a chemical that's quite dangerous, and it's called the p-test. And I don't want that dangerous chemical in my home. I don't want that much exposure to that dangerous chemical. So for that reason, I don't study lichens anymore. Still want to deal with that chemical. Maybe there's some new keys out there somewhere that don't rely on the p-test so much. If there was, that would be cool. The book I'm talking about is called Macrolichens of the Pacific Northwest. Expensive, but very good book. Excellent keys if you don't mind exposing yourself to the p-test over and over and over. So I don't try to key out lichens anymore, just for that one reason, and I just try to remember the lichens that I already know. They came through here and did their selective cutting thing. They call it pre-commercial thinning, and it's way better than a clear cut. But I've found that the mushrooms just don't respond well. I just don't really have any luck finding any mushrooms in these areas where they've done this pre-commercial thinning. Maybe I should take that back, because I can definitely find witch's butter on the stumps in these areas. It's just starting to sprout now. Another month or two, these might be giant and worth harvesting. Every time I've come here before, I've turned right to get to my end destination. But today I'm actually going to turn left at this fork, because this is the direction where my map shows water, and it's a chance to explore something new. There! Now that is some actual smart water. Cheers! It is now 20 minutes from our mandatory sit down and have lunch time, and then head back the way we came if we want to make it out before dark time. So now to decide if we want to make it out before dark. We probably do, just so I don't have to drive in the dark too much. Let's see what we see 20 minutes from now. Maybe we'll find something cool. We made it to the end of this road and found that it's been decommissioned, and then I went on a long rant about Green Diamond and Simpson and the 100-year sustained steel, which I decided I won't include in my video because people only want to hear happy, happy, happy stuff. So we won't include that. Anyway, we've turned around. We're headed back in the direction where we found those nice woods, and we will have our lunch there. And I'm so looking forward to my lunch because it's Thanksgiving leftovers, turkey sandwiches, oh yeah. I wonder what this is. Looks pretty official, whatever it is. I don't think it's one of those stations where they monitor the movement of the earth. We have a few of those out here. I don't know what this is. Ah, and that's my alarm saying it's time to turn around. What the heck is that? Weird. Siri, stop! Yay. Okay. So it's turnaround time, but I'm actually going to go just a little bit farther to the end of this road, to the spot where I used to start some amazing hikes. I just want to see how bad it is now. Here we are, the end of the road. This road keeps going and going up to a high ridge, to old growth, to old trails used by prospectors. Lots of good adventures can be had up there, but every year it gets harder to traverse because they decommissioned it. I'm thinking about buying some ultralight brush loppers and working on reopening the route up there. See that rock up there? That's the kind of place where a cougar would like to sit and watch for deer walking past on the road. If you went up there, you would probably find cougar poop up there. You can see some animal tracks going up there. The camera might not pick it up. It's trying to expose for the sky, so I got to point it low. Here's a little kid's chair with a bottle of water And a whole bunch of Pokemon cards. Wow. Some little kid must have left this behind, and I bet they were heartbroken when they realized they did. These Pokemon cards are freaking expensive. Wow. There's a story here, definitely. I could sit in that little chair, but this isn't a very pretty place for lunch. We'll keep going to the pretty place. Did you find some water, buddy? Someone's been having fun playing in the woods here. We're back into the pretty woods. Now just need to find the perfect place to sit. I'm at my lunch spot, and I was going to settle down and have a nice hot cup of coffee here. But I don't have a lighter. My regular lighter and my backup lighter are not with me, and I don't seem to have any backup matches anymore, so it's going to be cold coffee. Here's my lunch. Turkey sliders, because my rolls didn't come out as big as normal, so turkey sliders instead of crescent roll turkey sandwiches. And then for dessert, I'm going to have pumpkin pie with whipped cream. And I made this pie with an actual pumpkin, which I cooked. And I made the crust from scratch. And I made the whipped cream from whipping cream, not from the canned stuff. So I'm going to sit down and eat my turkey sliders and have some very cold coffee. And I forgot Bella's lunch, so Bella's going to get a turkey slider too. I'll tell you what, living with untreated ADHD is a pain. At least I've got my hat and my gloves and my vest and my raincoat and spare socks. At least that made it into my pack. I'm definitely going to have to go through my pack again when I get home, and maybe I need to make a checklist for every hike like I've had to start doing for my photography jobs so I remember everything. Anyway, cheers from the forest. Here's some nice cold coffee. Brr. At least it's coffee, right? My turkey sliders are made of buns I made from scratch, cranberry sauce, which I made from whole berries, turkey, which has been lightly smoked and brined, and mayonnaise. And boy, are they delicious. Yum! Probably the worst part about forgetting my lunch is that I'm having to give Bella my food, and that's turning into her into the kind of dog who begs for my lunch. I had Patches and Sage trained to quit begging for my lunch because I just wouldn't give them anything until they went away and laid down, and then they could have their dog food. But by giving Bella bits of my lunch while I'm eating it, it's teaching her to beg, and I don't like having a begging dog sitting in front of me while I'm eating. I find it really annoying. I've got to do a better job of packing her lunch. Oh, it is so cold. I can't believe I ruined my turkey burn by not having a lighter so I could have hot coffee. You know what? I might just go back to my car and make some hot lunch there to have with my pie. I mean, some hot coffee to have with my pie, because I am so cold, and cold pie doesn't really appeal right now. Yeah, I'm not going to eat my pie now, because eating the pie is making me thirsty, and the only thing I have to drink is cold water, and the cold water is giving me brain freeze. I'm also not going to pick mushrooms here, even though I can see a whole bunch of my favorite mushrooms growing in a big cluster right there, because my fingers are too cold. All because I forgot to pack a lighter, and I don't have my backup lighter from the last time I forgot to pack a lighter, and for whatever reason, I don't have my backup matches in my first aid kit. This is just too cold. I can't do it. But I have a lighter in my car, and I have a powerful little camping stove in my car, and I'll just make myself some hot coffee there. Woo, it's cold. My fingers are so cold. I did go over there and grab those mushrooms right in front of me. Oh man, get hypothermia out here today. Oh, am I cold. Okay. Oh, just gonna head straight to the car. I should make sure I haven't actually lost my car keys because I had to dump everything out of my pack because I didn't put my car keys back in the exact spot where they belong when I dumped out my pack to look for a cigarette lighter. Oh man, this just isn't my day. But now everything is just gonna go back here any old way because it just doesn't matter anymore. I just need to get out of here. And I've got my car keys, so. I can hear people shooting off in the distance. Hopefully they're not shooting my car. Just grab everything and pack it up and get the heck out of here. Okay, got everything put back together again. Got my car keys in my pocket. My fingers are so cold. Oh my God. All right, get my backpack back on, get my gloves back on, and then just retreat to the car. Oh, my fingers are so cold. I better start packing hand warmers, and I need to put my winter kit back together. There are people shooting guns down in the campground, and I'm sure that's against every rule around. Shooting guns and playing loud music. I'd say this is a very good time to get out of the woods. Wow. There's no way that it's allowed to be shooting guns like that in the campground. Also, I don't think you're allowed to hunt within a half hour of sunset, and we are within a half hour of sunset. So even if they were shooting at animals, which I can tell they're not shooting at animals because you don't fire that many shots when you're shooting at animals. But even if they were shooting at animals, they would be breaking the rules at this point because we are within a half hour of sunset. Let's get the heck out of these woods. They're still shooting guns down there. Fairly rapid fire too. Wow. I would not be a happy camper if I was trying to camp around that. It's gotten really wild out here, I guess. They closed the Oxbow campground ages ago because it was so wild. And there's just no enforcement out here, so they just keep closing down more and more campgrounds. And I'll bet you if this kind of madness continues down here, this campground will get shut down too. There's just not the law enforcement resources to deal with people out here firing guns in the campground and poaching maple. There just isn't. Bella has decided she doesn't want to get in the car. And I'm at the car here, and look how far away she is. Come on, buddy, come on. I don't want to have to chase you down today. All right, here she comes, good. That was just gonna add to the misery of the day, having to go that far back up the road to chase down Bella. Well, look at that. Law enforcement is out here. Hopefully they put an end to those shots, and hopefully they're not going to come up here and give me the third degree. All right. I tricked Bella. I pulled forward until she ran forward, and then I backed up to where she was, so now at least I don't have to go very far to get her in the car. Come on, get in the car. Come on, get in the car. Don't be so dumb. Come on, get in the car. Come on, buddy. There. Okay. I'm not going to eat my pie or make coffee here. I'm just going to get in the car, crank the heater up, and go home. Oh boy, I hope you enjoyed our video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.